Earlier this week, Ethan Klein posted a TikTok to defend himself against allegations, along with apologizing for some comments he's made about Israel, immediately garnering support from various people in his community, saying that he's taking accountability and being responsible, and that this is a testament to Ethan's character to say sorry. But the other side was not too satisfied. Many on LeftoversH3, some comments on the TikTok itself, and even Hasan argued that this is just continuing propaganda and that Ethan doesn't mean it. Some arguing that Ethan is engaging in Hasbara, which simply defined means that promoting propaganda or talking points for Israel. Ethan responded to some of this backlash by referencing another comment he made in the middle of the debate with Hasan that happened a few months ago, essentially claiming he's been consistently apologetic whenever he steps out of line. Welcome to the internet versus Ethan's apology. It starts, of course, when Ethan posts the apology on his TikTok page, which is just about a minute long, so we'll play that right now.
I came back to TikTok to defend myself against wild accusations, but I also came back because I want to apologize for things that I genuinely got wrong. For example,
we're planning to go to Israel in June with my parents, and I'm actually really excited to go there. I want to show you guys how beautiful, how multicultural, how free it feels for people, or just, it's a beautiful place. It is. It's one of the most diverse places I've ever been.
Looking back, I definitely feel ashamed for the way I spoke about Israel with such levity at the time that a genocide was happening. I completely understand why people could watch this clip and judge me harshly for it. I want to apologize to anyone in the Palestinian diaspora or anybody that's been affected by this war that felt that I was trivializing the suffering, the horror that you've gone through. And for that, I deeply am sorry, and I'm ashamed of this clip.
Over on H3 Productions, LXG also posted a TikTok with the caption "Ethan Klein new TikTok," and Honeydew Careful replies, "I really appreciate these short apology videos. There are things he said that he's apologized for, like this, but it was said during a random podcast episode, so it's impossible to find when someone asks for it. This is really helpful, Ethan." And Oculus Patdown replies, "The sad thing is, I have a feeling the haters will just see these and assume he's going on an inauthentic apology tour to get uncancelled to boost viewership or something." And Honeydew says, "I'm more so hopeful about getting to show these to people who aren't very interested in the drama. When most of the messaging they're seeing is coming from snarkers, it can be hard to break through that without these kind of clips to back it up. Like I said, so much is said in the middle of podcast episodes, so only people who actually watch, either fans or snarkers, know what he says. This is helpful for people who don't care enough to watch the podcast themselves to hear his true opinion. I see what you mean though. Snarkers and people who are just parroting what they see snarkers say are two different beasts." Living for That Tea also posted on the LeftoversH3 subreddit with the caption "New P_troll TikTok," and Razier replies, "Snark was right all along about this, and I'd like to apologize to them." And Zivatno says, "Literally, he's just acknowledging people were right about being upset all along, lol." And Terp Cheese Rosen says, "Will he apologize to Hasan? Big doubt." Dearsey says, "Oh, their pockets are really hurting, huh?" And Acrobatic Ad replies, "God, I hope that's what this means." And Hobdog replies, "Yeah, this is what 25k a month crisis management gets you." Razier also replies again saying, "He said his next video is going to be addressing the P_troll disgusting comments about children. He has not done this. Probably realized he could never address it in a satisfactory way after coming out so strong as saying he was not ashamed and would not apologize." Also, what is Ethan trying to accomplish here? Being gassed up by his fans that seem to think the best thing here is just to say how much they love Ethan? Kind of drowning out the actual people he's trying to reach here, aren't you guys? And OP replies, "He's giving a clip to his army more than anything. Like, I know some dumbass is going to reuse that TikTok to death just to say, look, he apologized, he's the accountability king." Then he attaches a post from the H3 Productions subreddit where someone says, "New Ethan Klein at TikTok. We love an accountable king, someone who isn't afraid to say sorry and grow from it, don't we, folks? Make sure you guys go over to his TikTok and like, comment, and favorite so we can spread the word." And OP says, "Called it." Carillion Poppy says, "This reeks of desperation." And Taco in Space replies, "Sounds like someone who is sorry they got caught, not that they're sorry about what they did." And NDB says, "If he was sorry at all, he wouldn't have said while a genocide was happening, and he wouldn't just apologize on TikTok randomly. He'd do it on his own show for his Zionist audience to see. They are the ones in the cult that think their leader can do no wrong. He's trying to cater to his haters on TikTok when at the same time it's his shitty fans who need to see this shit too." Over on the actual TikTok, there was also some replies, such as Girl with a Microphone who said, "Hasan fans, I know you've never heard one, but this is what an apology looks like. C says, change is always welcome. That being said, this is far too little, far too late to demonstrate legitimate accountability, and I think you know that. SpongeBrain Spooky Pants says, to those saying you're only apologizing now after 3 years, he's been saying all of this on the podcast, but is bringing it to TikTok for anyone who doesn't watch the pod. Lady Macbeth says, oh, the money is really drying up. Abdella says, I don't know. I've seen better apologies with ukuleles. Young One Biz says, he apologized and took accountability, yet it's still not good enough for some people. User 7594777074614 says, people demand accountability, yet shame Ethan for trying to take accountability. Ethan Klein also posted this clip with the caption, here I am apologizing shortly after I made the comment, in reply to Valerie, who said, 54 seconds of an apology after how many years?
I agree with you. I think that my characterization of it as a utopia, like in that moment, was distasteful, and I wish that I had said that differently. And I see that it came off bad. It came off bad, and I was wrong on that one. I totally agree. Watching that clip back, I'm regretful about how I spoke about it. So I agree with you.
Okay, that's fair.
And Katie Summers replies, I've been watching every day since 2022 and I just don't understand the blind hate. Ethan is definitely not perfect, but he's accountable. Kinda Smart says, the context of this, amidst bad faith arguments, makes it harder to feel solid about. This was a debate. He's talking to one guy. It's not the same as making time on your own to address this, or feeling like you should have apologized before prompted. Ella replies, he had to argue with about it for like 5 hours to get you to concede. Steroid Bread says, Ethan, you're a good guy. I appreciate you and the crew. Yeet also posts the clip with the caption, Ethan Klein says he came back to TikTok to not only defend himself, but also apologize for things he got wrong. And Ron Mexico replies, God, he was doing so well. Don't apologize to people who want you dead is an axiom he forgot. Substance replies, this is pathetically performative by Ethan, and all in service to whitewash what a morally vacuous piece of shit he is. And Amber replies, and what you're doing is not performative? What actual changes have you made? Morally vacuous piece of shit. Your comments do absolutely nothing, but you are not self-aware enough to understand that. SIC Unchained quote tweets Eden says, list of people Ethan Klein realistically needs to apologize to who have called them out for this very rhetoric. Not exhaustive. Hasan Piker, Denims TV, Frogan, Mike from PA, Caseytron, Bad Empanada, iDubbbz, Anissa Joma, Vanilla Mace, Dr. Kirk Honda, and Core Train replies, lol, in no way does he need to apologize to any of these lunatics because he's walking back one thing that wasn't even that crazy. Hasan also responded to this when Yeet posted this clip with the caption, Hasan is not buying Ethan Klein's recent TikTok apology.
Ethan Klein apology tour? What does that mean? Are you guys talking about the one TikTok that he posted being like, hey, that one time I actually said I love Israel and I'm going to go there and it's multifaceted. That was actually my mistake. I'm so sorry about that. But that's it. Nothing else. Okay. Nothing before and nothing after. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a sign of the times. It's a sign of the times that even someone who is as viciously a defender of Israel and an attacker of Israel's biggest critics is recognizing that he feels the need to do some propaganda to kind of take back some of the things that he's done. Also, look at these rats jumping ship. Yeah. All right. Banger episode of the Fear and Podcast. Oh yeah, that's right. The Fear and Podcast came out. Loved Israel so much he lost one of his coolest friends and blew up a successful podcast. Don't even get me started.
And Bishop replies, Hasan can't fathom the idea of apologizing. Radical Moderate says, Ethan could solve all of the world's problems and these fuckers would still be like, what about Gaza? Jack Fetch says, he accepted it to his face during the debate. Weird how it's different now. Gray Particular also posted this clip on the H3H3 Productions subreddit with the caption, Hasan calls Ethan's TikToks propaganda from a vicious defender of Israel. And he comments on his post saying, an attacker of Israel's biggest critics. Like who? You, Denims, Frogan, and Caseytron? And Louis replies, they are the first line of defense in Palestine. And Basic Discipline says, and his leader doesn't even know where Palestine is on the map. Cosine Tangents replies, this is how you know Hasan wasn't paying attention at all during his debate with Ethan. He literally said the same thing back then and Hasan pretends like, oh, it's so bad that only now Ethan is walking back from his rabid Zionism. And Yo Leave Me Alone replies, you think he doesn't know that he's lying and spreading disinformation as agitprop? He knows what he's doing. He knows his audience will believe it without asking a single question. Because if they do, they get banned. And Dull Distribution replies, this. Hasan needs to reiterate that Ethan is the root of all evil when it comes to Israel and it doesn't matter what his actual opinions are. Hasan is signaling to his audience that it doesn't matter what Ethan Ethan says it's a lie and to continue the harassment. Max Powers also posts a clip on the LeftoversH3 subreddit with the caption Hasan on Ethan's apology tour, and Timbo's Conson says, "It is funny how Ethan feels obligated to apologize just for that one clip. His wallet is probably taking quite the hit if he is finding it necessary to say sorry." And Cassie Supernova says, "No, that is deliberate. He is changing the subject. He cannot defend P_troll on TikTok. He fears the backlash of being associated with P_troll. I wish the video responses to his apology video asked him to apologize for P_troll while showing his jokes on screen." And Taco in Space says, "Yeah, I think it's more reputation laundering. Otherwise, why only TikTok?" Party Senior says, "If you guys haven't noticed, the Hasbara trolls have begun to be slightly more moderate than they were before. These days, they are more like, yeah, Israel does that and that's bad. Of course, they will never admit the more heinous crimes committed by Israel, but they are trying to look more moderate because they think that the people will accept Israel's position much easier. They realize that the narrative Hamas or anti-Septic doesn't work anymore. Behind the scenes, they are still the genocidal maniacs, and they show their true face on r/Israel and r/Israel Palestine, where they outright call for genocide." Ethan's position is the same as the rest of the Hasbara trolls. He doesn't feel bad about his support for Israel. He just tries to look a little more moderate. Piano Teach says, "It's such a fumble to apologize for saying Israel is a diverse place when he could have easily apologized for making fun of Aaron Bushnell, which people would have taken more seriously. I think him apologizing for wanting to take a trip to Israel proves he still doesn't get it, and this is performative nonsense, as always, from Ethan." And New Belt says, "He apologizes for things people don't hammer on as much as his other Hasbara points, like justifying bombing hospitals so his dumbass fans can be like, well, he said sorry, like with the P_troll account. He said he's not ashamed of it, but will go on TikTok to clarify one meme where, actually, I was talking about Orthodox Jews, not Arabs, instead of saying anything about his descriptive fantasy posts about children, so they can say he did address the account." Rusty Shackelford also tweets out the apology clip with the caption, "Ethan Klein, in an effort to remain relevant, makes an apology video on TikTok. No amount of apology videos is going to make up for the fact that this man spent the last 2 years spreading Israeli lies and trying to get pro-Palestinian voices banned. Screw him." And Wax Phillip Topical replies, "I legit don't like Ethan, but if we want more people to be pro-Palestine and change their behavior, advocacy, and efforts, we need to leave space for them somewhere. Otherwise, we'll never grow our numbers. That's not to say we don't keep a close eye, but let him grow." And Rusty replies, "Honestly, I'm in favor of that. I'm all for people learning from their mistakes and changing their point of views. But this guy right here can never admit when he's wrong. He actually hurts the cause. He literally promoted a BS charity." Shout out to our Tier 3 members, Internet Representatives Akiko, Salsao, Dakota's Bandito, and Captain Crash Out. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next episode.